Has Asutkar sir has joined? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Govardhan sir, please start the session.
Okay, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Yes. Good afternoon, all. I, Prashant Govardhan, on behalf of Computer Science and Engineering Department of Priyadarshini College of Engineering, Nagpur, welcome you all for the 1 week online ATAL Faculty Development Program. Today, we have person who motivate us to achieve great heights. He is a great academician and wonderful human being, Dr. Gajendra Sukkar, sir. He is a Vice Principal, Priyadarshini College of Engineering, Nagpur. He has done PhD in electronics from Vishwesvaraya National Institute of Technology, Nagpur. He has a experience of 23 years in teaching and industry. He has organized several workshops, STTP, and conferences on national levels. He has also a part of a foreign project. He has received foreign projects like SILAIS in 2017 to 2019, funded by Erasmus program of European Commission. He has also received a same foreign project, Impact of Fake News on Recent European Politics, co-funded by Jean Monnet, Erasmus Plus program of European Union. He has also visited several foreign countries like Portugal, Israel, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and many more. He has played many roles during his journey, like Chairman, Board of Studies in Emerging Technologies, Rashtriya Sant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. He is a senior member of IEEE, approved supervisor in PhD by RTM Nagpur University, and he has guided 15 students up till now. He is working as a reviewer for international journal AICIT Korea. He is working as a reviewer for international conference. He has working as a reviewer for the international conference in Morocco, working as a reviewer for the international conference in many countries. He's a life member for CSI, IST, IEEE, and many more. Today, he will sharing us the insightful knowledge on data integrity and security for IoT devices in smart cities. So I request Dr. Asutkar sir to give us information regarding this particular sessions. So over to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Prashant, sir. Good afternoon to everyone, all participants. It's a very pleasant and atmosphere in Nagpur. So hope we begin our session on smart cities. So I will share my screen. Screen is visualized. It's appearing.
Yes, sir.
My voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Leena Patil, madam, coordinator, Dr. Pal Pandey, madam, Dr. Khade, madam, and Prashant Govardhan, sir, for giving me an opportunity to deliver a session on data integrity and security for IoT devices in smart cities. What exactly my content is, what exactly is content of presentation means, that is all around the what exactly the smart cities, applications of IoT in smart city. We just brief analyze about the what exactly how it functions, the smart city model, and how we'll implement it in the applications of smart city. Connectivity platforms for all these IoT devices that are useful for smart cities. And moreover, we give a small discussion on the topic that security and compliances. Moreover, we will think about how this integrate and what are their capabilities, and at the end we will conclude. So let's begin from the 2nd December when you are participated in this smart city applications. So what exactly smart city means, you are well aware, and why is smart city is need. So we all aware that there is a rapid, we all aware and experience there is a rapid change in the population, rapid growth in the population, and certainly up to some extent to provide the better life to all citizens. It's very essential because when population is growing, the resources are limited. Within this resources limited, how intelligently, how optimally we can use the technology so we can make the life better for the situations. And this is what the quality of life that we can working on some enhanceable, sustainable solutions, and that will be streamline the delivery of the essential services. Because the rapid change in the population, certainly, it's not only the problem. So our intention as a technocrats that we have to provide a better solution or smart solution to this city. But meanwhile, when it will be adopting the technology, and most of the civilians or citizens, those who are adopting the technologies in smart city. So along with that, it will carry the go down the infrastructure. Along with that, a lot of hackers or all the problems of that hacker sort of things that will be creating a impact on, and that will be affected too. So here, main intention is the implementation of sustainable development that initiative to address the growing urbanization. This is main and prime objective. Meanwhile, the end user is the civilians, and our intention as a technocrat that how we can improve their quality of life by using technology. That is what, and we have to provide them sustainable solutions. We are well familiar with the ICT framework, that information and communication technologies. We are dealing with that, and when we are dealing with the information and communication technologies, that the challenge for us with how effectively we can implement it with the IoT devices. And that is what the challenge is. And this is what, when we move further, the design to hold the power of technology and data, because this is completely the data driven technology, and here the role of data and how we can integrate it. We all familiar from last since 2nd of December, the all experts, everybody is give more emphasis on the smart cities, how we can design, what is the application, how up to what extent will be helpful, whether it's a data-driven technology. So here, my focus is on how we can use it, how IoT devices are used it in the smart cities, and what is their vulnerability to the security. And in the present scenario, most of the cities in India, that is tier 1, tier 2, and even tier 3 cities will be adopted the ICT technologies, and in future, or most of the cities with all the municipalities which are having the population more than 3 to 4 lakhs are also adopted the IoT technology, IoT and smart city applications. So that is what the big challenge for all of us, to provide them the smooth and better technology. And that is what in the future the IoT in the smart city will provide an opportunity for the wide adoption. We all are familiar with that applications of IoT in smart city. Even when we have to discuss further first with the what are the challenges with what application are in existence. Smart city traffic management, this is very important aspect at the moment, because what even you just look at the infrastructure is growing very fast. All the base infrastructure are provided, or even though, but the rapid change in the number of cars, number of vehicles, and particularly at some specific time, that is during the peak hours, it will be create even with the better infrastructure, number of roads, wide roads, still that will the congestion problems that we'll encounter in every city. Uh, so here we are something requires a very precise or very optimized planning, that how we can utilize these resources, uh, or it will be get integrated with the technology, and that will we can smooth the smart traffic management system. Because even uh, we are having the infrastructure, but just because of some information, that is the real-time information is lagging, and another resources, the alternative routes are still available, but that will create a more, what we can say, uh, more congestion problem or more load on one some specific direction or type. That we need to use with the technology, that we need to use with the information, real-time information, that we need to utilize smartly from data or history we have. And that is what it requires, all the edge technology in IoT applications, whether it's camera or GPS or what it may be. So we are using this IoT application for the smart traffic management. Meanwhile, what we have to observe in the IoT applications, we can completely depends on the Google application right now. And in this Google scenario, what happens, that completely based on users. And if all these users are moving forward and everybody follow whatever be the users, that the real-time data that will be from their uh, smart mobile devices. And we don't have any independent uh, infrastructure for that, that how we can manage the traffic. Complete citizens, even the officials are depends on that. If in the smart city, the smart traffic management system we can establish with the local network, with the municipals, with the latest IoT devices, that we can deploy the cameras, we deploy sensors in the different traffic locations. We have to identify the alternative routes, and we can communicate it in the real-time application apart from Google's, because we completely rely on the Google. Apart from Google, if we can pass this information to the motorists, that the real-time application key that alternate routes are available, that up to great extent we can manage the traffic. So this is the role of IoT devices, because here in the present scenario, if you just look at it, we are completely rely on the Google, and that Google is taking the data when that is not the some data, though that is the real time, but that is don't have the history. They are not aware about the alternative routes, alternative management, and that will again cause the burden on traffic management. So here, if we are using the IoT devices and independent networks, certainly it will be very helpful for the smart traffic management. Same is with the waste management. Waste management is still, we are using the smart dustbins. We are this all these smart dustbins are connected to all these devices. But in this aspect, we have noticed that still this garbage and everything you can found everywhere. So it and this is again why we are not supposed to be blame this completely to the municipal corporations or any civic bodies, because this is caused just because this is growing in the infrastructure, lack of civic sense. Lack of civic sense and everything. So just because of that, if we are using the IoT devices, cameras on all over the cities, that is again the low cost provider, that will again provide better solutions. And for that, again, it requires independent network. Smart parking is again the same issues. Smart parking is generally haphazard or any random parking that will cause uh, congestion in the traffic. If you are parking the vehicles on the main roads or at the site, that will again require a very smart parking, whatever the parking, because if somebody is parked the vehicles, it's very difficult to identify. So we are providing them the information through the IoT devices to the motorist or to the persons, that there are some number of space in the vicinity that you can park your vehicle. So that is providing a solutions to everyone. Then third issue is the public safety. Public safety is again very important aspects. There are a number of, in every smart cities, there are some control centers where all these cameras are mounted in different locations, and all this information through the cameras, these are all the HD cameras, is passes to the CCU, that is Civic Control Center, where we can observe everything. But again, there is a limitations because it needs an AI tool that whatever the incidents are happen. So how these incidents are happens, that again we have to work on this ones with the highly precise IoT devices that we can deploy. We can identify the movement. We can identify the movement, and accordingly we can work on that one, and we can identify that how this any motion or any movement of any some notorious sort of thing that we can identify and communicate. So this is again a great role played by the IoT in the smart city application. Utility management. Utility management is a very important, crucial aspect at the civic society right now, because earlier, whatever the manpower we are supposed to be used for all uh, management of the civic corporation, this manpower is reducing very fast. And apart from this, there is an exponential. If you just look at this, manpower is reducing. Meanwhile, the population is increasing, duties is increasing, and there is a mismatch between the utility management because the manpower is less, the works are more, and that is what utility management is very crucial issue in the present smart city applications, smart city particularly for the civic bodies or the corporations. And that is why if we use all this utility with very smartly with some robo cleaning applications of particularly for the robo cars or driverless cars, or say some ambulance activities, or some automated information system, so that utility can be managed very importantly through IoT. Second is the remote monitoring that we can already in existence, and we can do it through all these cameras which are mounted through the civic control center. And then the environmental and well-being. This is the end users aspect that we always discuss about, because ultimately, even in SDG, we are working for the end users, and environment is very important aspects. Ultimately, all of the services, all of the applications, all we are doing, the engineering and every application, every service is for to making the life better, and to make the civilians life better, they make them happy, healthy, and prosper. So here we have very important environmental concern. So environmental concern is again depends it how we can utilize this IoT applications to monitor environment, particularly pollutions, all the pollution parameters, AQI, everything that we indicate, we can try to monitor it. And again, up to some extent, if you do have certain technology, that we try to control it. The equal for the environmental is how effectively we can monitor and control. These are the two aspects which we can do through the IoT applications, and most of the cities are doing this. Then public transport is very important aspect, because it will directly affect to all parameters, some directly or indirectly. If public transport systems, if you are making it very effective, that is completely depends on what is the need, what is the time, what is the peak hours, what is the footfalls at specific locations. Same is with the traffic signals, that how effectively we can utilize it. So footfall is very important aspect in public transport. And if we have a complete data, or we have a complete information that is from the past history as well as the real time, then we can effectively manage the public transport. Because if we can manage the public transport, it helps up to some extent for the smoothing of traffic, as well as up to great extent it will reduce the pollution parameters. So this is what the role of public transport. So this is all applications. Apart from this, the applications are increasing in health sector, in all other sectors, that health management is again included in that. So these are some aspects on which we can use for the IoT in the smart cities. Along with that, if we move further, that how we can implement a smart city model. So smart city model is basically uh, two aspects, because when you just look at it, this model, so one is the environment. Environment is that is the user end. User end is basically the application layer where all users can implement it. So in this application and where we can deploy the IoT applications, it is connected either through the 5G network, but at the backbone, it should be connected with the optical fiber network to the base stations, and through the base station to the main utility station. So in this entire network, we have main is that application platform where we can users are dealing with this IoT directly. Second is with the back office portal where all this thing is driven by the data or information that is in the form of real-time application. Then this platform is included MA. Here is the role is very crucial, and that is what is called as the critical components of any IoT-based platform. And when you are dealing with this application layer at the public utility, so critical component that start with how authentic, how precise that information that we are getting from the inputs, and on that information how we can act. So ultimately in this is the perception and the action is the very important aspect for any smart city model. Perception and action. So perception is that the input is from all devices, application devices like sensors, actuators, field gateway, data, like so that sensors particularly that provides you the input information, and from this input information is completely depends on how we can do the reasoning. For the right reasoning or for the right actions, we need to analyze, authenticate all this data, and data warehouses plays a significant role. When we talk about the sensors, sensors are need to be monitored very precisely, whether it's sensors in all application environment, uh, sensors like camera, then acoustic, uh, humidity, all the sensors for pollution. Okay, all the sensors need to be precisely accurate, because whatever the information generated through the sensor, that will completely depend the action. That is what I said. What is important is that your right perception is lead to the right action. So right perception, that perception or the information that always comes from what you take the input, what you observe from the inputs, and that need to be understand very precisely for to your computing devices or computing components. So in this case, the critical components are sensors, and that is very precisely monitored. And what will be the information after the processing, it will be given back to the environment or given back to the application level, that is through the actuator. So sensors and actuators, basically these are the input and output devices. And this input and output devices, that what will get from the sensor, that hello, yeah, what you will get from the sensor, and it will be given back to the actuator. Again, it will back to the environment. Meanwhile, this information is passes through the different gateways, that is it through the 5G, that 5G mask, 5G network, 5G devices that is deployed at the different building levels or at the different aspects. Then all these are fed to the reasoning part, where it can be uh, providing what kind of state or what kind of information that is for the processing. Here, the data lake and data warehousing is okay. Warehouse is very important, because all this information fed and stored at the data lake, it will be passed to the data house where we can analyze with the previous history, previous informations, and here later on the data warehouse is very important, and all aspects for how we can tracking and analytics this information. On the basis of this, we can create a predictive model, and this predictive model is again a information aspect for particularly what will be the information which we receive from the input, and on the basis of that predictive model, it will be taking the reasoning or the proper action, and it will be given to the automatic controls. These automatic controls are equally important in all these aspects, and on the basis of that we can identify. So here in the smart cities can monitor the devices, environment, and predefined rules that we are used in the tracking and analytics. And these predefined rules to control the pipelines, that is electronic walls, distribution system based on the set of the criteria. The collected data can be visualized and on the centralized dashboard to stay on the top of every public utility services. Same is with the field gateway, that what is the information field gateway? Field gateway. That is to enable the data collection, then we can compress it, secure transmissions between the network, that is from your 5G hotspots or any hotspot devices. This is connected to the OFC cables to the base station, from base station to service gateway. And all these nodes, network nodes, and to their cloud part. Then data lake is equally important in that will be stored this information in the raw form, that is the unstructured format, and until it is need to the extracting the meaningful insighted from that data lake. Then data warehouse is basically this information that's stored from the previous history, from what will be the real-time information you will get, but that need to be tracking and analytics completely. That is what the role of smart cities can monitor the devices, environment, predefined rules that to control the pipelines, all these electronic pipelines and distribution systems based on the set of criteria. Then data collection, data and whatever data we collected, that can be visualized on the centralized dashboard to stay on the top of every public utility service. That is happened. On the basis of that, we can develop one predictive model. This predictive model is deep analytics, leverages that machine learning algorithms that we can use, and that static analysis to reveal the patterns of correlation of the historical data which already we have. And this information need to use to create the predictive models employed to control the applications to command and actuators enabled in the connected devices in it. Here in some cases, for example, if you taken it for the traffic management, in case of the traffic management, if you are talking about, so generally when we rely on the Google services, so Google services completely based on the information that users can provide to the Google, and so that will be again reflected on that mobile phone. But in smart city model, if we have another hotspot which provides through the sensors and actuator sensor that completely sends this information that this is the peak time, this is the traffic congestion. We have the history that some other routes or some other options that is again available, and these are providing the fastest route, green route, and clean route. So if we analyze that this is the time that is from the 5:30 to 7:30, this is the peak hours every cities do have, and every cities do have the alternative routes. But the alternative routes information is not available, or the real-time information is not available. Is there any conjunctions or any unpredicted incidences connected, for example, accidents or any jam and whatever it occur. So here, with the history, with the available information about the alternative routes to the actuator, means we will pass it the information to the speakers or to the messages to the motorists, say they can go through the another alternative routes. So that is what the predictive model is. That is what the predictive model is very helpful in smart city applications, where we are totally set up a independent model. It's not completely based on the Google independent model for smart city, which is to need to design this kind of model. Then automated controls, because when you predicted, analyze all this information, then it need to be automated control. Automated control means a car is moving. Right now, we don't have the barrier because we have only the signals on the road traffic management. So if we can make some controlled traffic management system, that we can, if on some single point there are more number of congestion, more number of motorists is moving, but they are not preferring the other way just because that is might be some long distance, but that other way is the alternative of options. We know what are the capacity, we can identify their capacity of that road, and along with that we can divert the traffic. So diversion of the traffic is again equally important. So that kind of diversion of traffic means we can stop it, divert the traffic in the real-time application on the basis of whatever be the informations we have, the conjunction or whatever be the informations we have for at that peak hour, we can divert that traffic in the another direction, and that information is passed. That is what the automated control means. And this automated control is that diversion is very important. If you diverted the traffic, you will stop it and say you prefer this way. This is the very fastest way. This is safest way. Because you don't have the control. Because what is the mindset of the motor is that they don't bother about what kind of congestion problem is it, because they cannot be visualized. If the congestion is 2 kilometers ahead, and we cannot predict, we cannot visualize that what kind of conjunction is there, and we just moving in the same direction, that will again form the that will be again a, what we can say, this is a mindset. So we cannot change the mindset, so we need some force control. Then that is what it's called the automated control. We can put out the barrier automatically, and that we can stop the traffic, and we can divert the traffic. So what happens at the one point where more burden is caused just because of the traffic, that will be removed. Then second thing is that if we control it automatically, the traffic is diverted, and what will be the cost? Because if it takes suddenly the 10 minutes to control that traffic, but just because of unawareness of unvisualizations or just practical information to the motorist, it will create the more burden. That if we can clear the traffic in 10 minutes, it will cost the hours for that. So if we have an automated control systems, that we can use the automated barriers, we do divert it from specific locations or divert the traffic in other ways. That is again very useful in this smart city applications. User applications. So that is all these things that the authorities can be monitored. All these applications that the control center after the signals, the reboot part of the traffic that detects a jam and notifies the driver to take the different route. So that is what is expected. And if we are using the automated control, so automatic control controls the applications that enable the automation of the connected objects by sending commands to the complete specific task. Okay, that is what app can be, maybe vary, it can maybe change. So it needs a real-time application. Along with that, we need to control it, and that is what that will be reduce the. It will resolve so many problems. It will resolve the congestion problem. It will be smoothing in the traffic management. It will reduce the pollution, reduce the burden of some specific point, and that is the real application of IoT, because it will be help in all extent. But here, what is important aspect, if you just look at it, the what you can see in the major layer, that is integration. We need to integrate all these devices, that is smartphone, that is to the app, all IoT devices which are mounted on different, all these IoT devices which are mounted at different nodes. All these nodes are connected through the network, and at the back side, either through the GSM or cellular network, or we can create or independent optical fiber network. So it needs to be integrated. All this integration is again a very smart, very challenge for smart cities, and a smart city integration problem. If we are providing a better solution, certainly it will be uh, make a smart city better up to a great extent. A smart city model can integrate its traffic management solutions with intelligent and air quality monitoring,